Hey guys, what's going on? PsychoDude616. Sorry, I'm talking about my gaming channel here. Sorry. PsychoDude Horror here, and today we have 10 more horror stories. Last time I read 10, and you guys seemed to really enjoy it, so here's 10 more. Heck by Mean Pete. I felt the presence of the cave as if it was a living creature. Number 14. Hands by Minboy. Drunk and hopeless, he stumbled to the garage and started the table saw and slowly lowered his wrist towards the screaming blade. The doctor pulled the stethoscope ear tips out and hung the device around his neck. Mr. Weatherby, all the tests have come back negative and my examination shows nothing abnormal. Adam knew what was coming next. I'm not crazy, doctor. I'm sorry, but there is no physical reason for you to occasionally lose control of your hands. A psychologist can help. I don't need therapy. I need answers. They seem to have a life all their own. I can't hold a job. I'm under investigation for assault. I almost killed my neighbor. This can't go on. I'll try anything at this point. After 2 weeks on a new medicine, Adam saw no progress and grew increasingly depressed. He was convinced that despite what the doctors said, it was not a psychological problem. That night, a frustrated and angry Adam sat in a chair and drank bourbon. Drunk and hopeless, he stumbled to the garage and started the table saw and slowly lowered his wrist towards the screaming blade. Detective Armstrong entered the garage where several uniformed officers stood over the blood-soaked body. "So, what do we got?" he asked, taking in the blood-splattered scene. "This is an awkward one, Detective. How so?" "Take a look at the body. He apparently chopped off his hands with the table saw and bled to death." Armstrong knelt down and we can't find his hands anywhere. Number 15. He Stood Against My Window by Sabbath Hook. I couldn't move. I froze watching him looking past me through the glass. I don't know why I looked up, but when I did, I saw him there. He stood up against my window, his forehead rested against the glass, and his eyes were still in light. And he smiled, a lipstick red smile, cartoonish grin. And he just stood there in the window. My wife was upstairs sleeping, my son was in his crib, and I couldn't move. I froze and watched him looking past me through the glass. "Oh, please no." His smile never moved, but he put a hand up and slid down the glass, watching me with matted hair and yellow skin and face through the window. I couldn't do anything. I just stayed there, frozen, feet still in the bushes. I was pruning, looking into my home. He stood against my window. Number 16. Fallers by Dastard82. No one could explain the hideous grins they had or even where they came from. People started falling from the sky by the close of the decade. They were never clothed, always naked. Always a petrifying grin on their faces, It had just been a few at first, but then hundreds and thousands would fall at a time, destroying cars, homes, blocking off highways. Strange discoveries were made upon research. They were human, but lacked any blood, intestines, or even a heart. No one could explain the hideous grins they had, or even where they came from. It was a woman in Costa Rica who made the latest and most disturbing discovery. She recognized one of the fallen bodies as a long-dead relative, one who had died back when she had been a teenager. Then more and more identifications were made. Soon people were picked out for long-dead loved ones amongst the video feeds. Cadaver piles and crematoriums. No one could explain why they were coming back, falling from the sky, even more distressed after disposing of the bodies. It wouldn't be long until the same body came plummeting from the sky again. You could not get rid of them no matter what. People were killed by the higher volume of the falling bodies, and soon after burial they too began to fall. My mother was killed when a body landed on her car, crushing her. The next week, the news reported on a body that had gotten lodged in an airplane windshield. I saw my mother's grinning face, the happiest I had ever seen her. They say when heck is full, the dead shall walk the earth. What about heaven? Number 17. The Happiest Day of My Life by Reclutus. Please, I did what you asked. Just please give me my daughter back. I watched as my soon-to-be father-in-law held his daughter's hand as he walked down the aisle. Tears streamed down his face as the wedding march that played in the background reminded him that in a few minutes he would be watching me hold his daughter's hand and slipping on her ring. He walked up to the altar and I took hold of her hand, grinning from ear to ear. It was the happiest day of my life. My bride's father got down on his knees and started begging. Please, I did what you asked. Just please, give my daughter back. I glared at him. Shut up and stop ruining the moment. If you sit back down and enjoy the ceremony, maybe I'll tell you where I've hidden the rest of her body. Number 18. Hidden by KMA Poke. She stared back at me, eyes wide, bound, gagged, but alive. Where are you? I screamed, panicked. I ran through the abandoned farm. I can't find her, not in the old house, not in the barn. I went into the empty field, heart racing as I scanned the area. I run into a mound of dirt and trip, sprawling to the ground. Getting up and it hits me. Abandoned farm. I tripped over freshly tilled dirt, crouching down. I start frantically clawing with my hands, scooping handfuls of dirt. I hit something hard. Wood. Are you there? I cried, pressing my ear to the wood. I hear muffled cries. I start digging again, but realize it's taking too long. Looking around, I see a garden shed. I sprint to it, ripping the door open. I see a shovel still caked in dirt, probably the same one that person buried her with. I grab it, running back. I started digging with purpose. Soon the wooden box was exposed. I tossed the shovel and ripped open the crate. She stares back at me, eyes wide, bound, gagged, but alive. I sigh with relief. Thank God. I reach into my bag, pulling out a rag and chloroform. I crouch down, placing it over her face. She struggles, faints. I toss her over my shoulder. Aw, heck. Ow, heck. My brother says as I walk to the trunk with a smirk. You found her? Yup. You almost had me though. I laugh. Alright, my turn. Where did you put her? I gestured to the creek area. Somewhere over there. Drowning's an issue though. Jerk, he says, running off. I smile watching him go. I love adult hide and seek. Number 19, my favorite support group, by I Post at Midnight, again. No one wants to die alone, kid. Look, I'll be the first to admit, but I'm a complete bad person. I'm always lazy. I'm only here to find the idiot, because he's almost always an idiot. This support group is pretty typical. We connected online, decided on a quiet place, and now we're all sitting cross-legged in a circle. Real kumbaya crap. Jerome takes the lead, pouring everyone a cup of tea, and he starts talking. I'm Jerome. You can drink your tea, but only after explaining why you're here. I'll start. Jerome tells us he's never been loved. I can see why. The guy's ugly as sin. He sips his tea while the mousy chick speaks next. Mew, she says. My parents, short and sweet, no blubbering, gotta admire Mew. She's probably not an idiot. Next to talk are the legless veteran, a broke businessman, a Neil-tracked junkie, and a deceased old crone. Then it's my turn. I'm a bad person. Everyone hates